161 years since the Battle of Kennesaw Mountain, which yes means this will be my very first LEGO American Civil War MOC. Once this video goes live, I will be streaming on Whatnot, where I'll be selling this entire LEGO MOC and hundreds of other LEGO minifigures as a fundraiser for the Scots Plastic channel. Now, because most viewers can't afford $2 million for international shipping, I'm going to be keeping this LEGO MOC to a more modest size. But before we get into that, guess what? I recently left the studio.
It's a glorious sunny day in Scotland and I'm on my way down to the National Brick event in Edinburgh to meet you, the people. We are here at the National Brick Events LEGO event in Edinburgh, and we've been going around, we've been seeing all of the custom minifigures, we've been seeing the custom LEGO builds, and seeing some really rare, expensive minifigures that I didn't even know existed. Another standout for me would be Archie, a very young Star Wars LEGO MOC designer down here, a lot younger than me, and he's building better MOCs than me already. Really nice freeform builds. They're not based on anything other than his own imagination. Really talented builder. We're going to be at Aberdeen and Dundee with our own stall. All of the MOCs that you see in my videos will be on display, and guess what? The tanks, the vehicles, the minifigures that have been in my videos, we're going to be selling those as well. What I would say is if you're interested in going to one of these events, there's a lot to see and you will spend the entire day going around seeing things that you didn't even know existed. There's LEGO sets that I'm seeing that I had no idea even existed. We were just speaking to a guy who just bought a set for £1,200. If you've not got much money, there's loads of like cheaper minifigures. If you're trying to build an army, like a LEGO Star Wars army, instead of having to buy entire LEGO sets where you then pick the minifigures out of the LEGO sets, what you'll find is you'll probably be able to get a much more cost-effective army builder. You'll probably find a bunch of other minifigures that you never even knew you wanted or needed but are affordable as well. What I've been surprised is that a lot of these people, they don't have any social media. So the sets that they're selling here, you literally can't get online. If you're looking for rare LEGO sets, rare LEGO minifigures, this is such a good place to do it. These are from LEGO collectors, some of these really ridiculously rare LEGO sets. You won't find these on Amazon, you won't find them on eBay, you won't find them on the Facebook Marketplace, and guess why? Because these guys are buying them all. They're getting all these rare sets and they're bringing them here. So if you want to see these sets, if you want to see these minifigures, this is the best place you can do it.
Use my code to get 10% off National Brick Events tickets now. Reinforcements have just arrived in the post. Just hack and tear at it until it's open. So uncivilized.
These are a bunch more American Civil War minifigures that I'm about to assemble and get equipped onto this display base plate.
And so here's another 11 Union soldiers and another 11 Confederate soldiers. Now, the Battle of Kennesaw Mountain was part of the Atlanta campaign, and these are just a few of the pictures that I'm going to be using for inspiration for this new LEGO MOC, which I'm going to be starting now.
This is going to be a free-form LEGO American Civil War MOC, and what I mean by that is it's not going to have a square edge and black wall bricks like I have on a lot of my other builds. Please don't fall apart in my hands.
And here you go. This is the base plate that I'm going to be using for the build. In case you missed that, I just removed a hair from the build because, again, this is not a daily bricks video.
Flanger!
Slide it back on, hopefully without destroying it. There we go.
Nice.
Beautiful. Now, as I've done in the past, it's time to create and plan. I'm going to try and get some sort of like a cannon down... Union army, which will be moving in from this direction. And then we're also gonna get a bunch of like trees and vegetation over this side here. And then we'll also get some like impact craters in the ground. This is the professional and plan that I have created. Also, I should mention these two definitely cannons. These are cannons. Will be behind some sort of like a wooden barricade. Now, before we get too carried away with the building, let's take another look at the Battle of Kennesaw Mountain. During the battle, the Union Army commander was William T. Sherman and the Confederate commander was Joseph E. Johnson. The two LEGO minifigures that I've got that best fit these descriptions are, of course, Robert E. Lee for the Confederates, and then we've also got Ulysses S. Grant for the Union Army. So again, this will now be Joseph E. Johnson. This is going to be William T. Sherman for the Union Army. We'll get him over here. That's the right-hand side. The Union Army will be advancing towards the Confederate position. Now, I do want to give a quick shout out to a young LEGO MOC designer named Archie that I recently met. He was the inspiration for doing this organic build with wedges
on the outside rather than a big square build like I normally do.
The next thing I've got to do is a few more layers and also start getting the dark greens and the browns into the middle of the base plate. 4 layers of wedges down, it's now a lot more sturdy.
I'm no longer going to be using these pre-built craters which I've used in previous videos. I think these craters need to be custom built, otherwise they're just not going to look right. What I've done is I have arranged these various plates down here, and they are going to simply fill this gap. Another hair. You know what? Let's keep the hair. We're going to keep the hair. And we're going to shout out daily bricks. This is where the cannons are going to go. We will then have a bit of a fortification in front of these cannons. Or something like this. So now you can see it looks a bit more irregular. It looks like basically there's an area where these cannons have been firing from for a while, and it's kind of kicked up the dirt around it.
This is where we got to yesterday with the build.
Down she goes. Nice little pancake.
Yesterday I built up 4 layers of dark green wedges into an organic base plate shape, and we're ready to build up the barricades in front of those cannons. We've also got 3 cannon impact sites ahead. I've moved the Confederates over to their main base plate, and I've also moved the Union Army onto their base plate.
Now originally I did have some more American Civil War Union Army minifigures over here. However, if we take a look at this LEGO minifigure here, you can see precisely what has happened to this hat. So what was 4 Union Army soldiers is now 1 soldier with a bit of a broken hat. The rest of them are already broken. Now compare that to this AliExpress American Civil War minifigure. He's got a bit of detailing on his arm. He's also got a much more detailed, not 3D printed hat. And importantly, the hat is not broken. And I suspect it probably won't break either. 11 of these cost £11. This cost £15. This single minifigure with a broken hat, and the rest of them are also broken, cost more than all of these minifigures. What would you choose? I know what I would choose.
Very bright today. It's very bright. That being said, it's time to carry on with the building. If I can actually see the build.
Now, I've got an assortment of bricks, which I'm going to use to try and build this barricade.
For the first time ever, I've just released merch for both the Plastic Scot and the Scots Plastic channel, and for some reason, I'm not wearing it as I say this. This here is the Scots Plastic Lady Slayer 5000, also known as a t-shirt. And this is the Scots Plastic hoodie, which makes me look jacked. If you want to pick up the channel's merch, it'll be linked in the description down below. It's not just for the Scots Plastic channel, it's also for the Plastic Scot channel, and by getting the merch, you're helping us fund the channel, buy new parts, buy minifigures, basically just make the channel more financially viable. Any merch purchase is much appreciated because it helps us fund the channel. Not to mention, you also get to look absolutely incredible.
If I pull the cannons out, hopefully you can see this is a bit of like a firing position down here, and there's a bit of dirt underneath where the cannons have been like firing and reloading, and there's also a bit of foot traffic down here. Getting some verticality and some texture onto your build is important, and all of that has actually helped complement this part of the build quite nicely as well. I'm not done there because I've got a bunch more stuff lined up over here. Oh, well, the Union flag didn't have that many stars, but it's not historically accurate. Guess what? I don't care.
I look forward to your angry letters.
Now soon I will be adding the Union Army and of course the Confederate Army to the build. Probably get a couple of horses in there as well. These guys have been sidelined because none of them have hats. If I take this here and I connect this American flag onto the top like so, now we've got an American flag which can be wielded by one of the Union Army soldiers. Now I don't have a Confederate version of this, which the YouTube algorithm will probably be grateful for. Instead, I will be using some of these red bits down here, and I'll try and botch something together. I'm trying to make it look like there's an explosion coming out the end of the cannon. You know what? That actually, that actually works. I'm so class at building Lego. I'm actually genuinely unstoppable. I should mention, by the way, the amount of LEGO MOCs I'm now beginning to hoard is starting to get literally unreasonable. Look at all of these.
I think we should start by placing the Confederates down. The first thing I'm going to place down is going to be Joseph E. Johnson. I'm going to put both of them on a white horse. I feel like it would just help them stand out more. We need 4 cannon operators.
Now, we're not just going to have only those 2 guys firing the cannons. We've got these 2 Confederate soldiers over here. They will be actually loading the cannons, so we'll get them further at the front. Okay, so we've now got 4 Confederates. We've got a loader and a firer on each of those cannons, and they'll be firing down in this direction, which is where the Union Army will be. Now, we've still got this Confederate militia and also this Confederate soldier here, as well as all of the guys behind.
So before we do anything else, let's first try and get as many of these soldiers into combat as possible.
Now, it goes without saying that everyone here watched the last video, the Battle of Kursk video. Obviously, I know you all watched it. In that video, you'll remember that I showed you a giant package. Guess what? I really could have chosen my words there better, actually. Well, this time, I'm gonna show you a different kind of giant package. Well, actually, it's the same giant package. It's this giant package, which I'm holding upside down. There we go. This giant package, all the way from South Korea. One of the reasons I'm showing you this absolutely monstrous magnetic moving base plate is because these Scots plastic Lego videos are getting bigger, they're getting better, and they're getting more interesting. This is going to be on a future Hoth build. You should make sure you subscribe so that you see it, or I will break your life. Okay, let's crack open the beast and see what we're working with. This is gonna completely revolutionize Lego base plate building. Oh my god. There's 9 base plates there, and then we've got all these various bits of track and whatnot. This is going to be absolutely crazy.
Okay, just like that, we've got all of the Confederates down in position.
In the back, we've got Joseph E. Johnson with his spyglass / not binoculars, spying on the enemy, trying to keep track of the battlefield. We've got this upgraded Confederate soldier running into battle with his custom arms, definitely not falling out the socket. I can't remember what this guy is, but he is hiding behind this bush waiting to ambush the enemy as they approach. Of course, we've got the 2 cannons. One is firing, one is reloading, and then we've got 2 Confederate soldiers at the front here that are reloading, ready to fire on the enemy, and the orders have been given for these Confederate soldiers to get to the front line and help with the defense at the Battle of Kennesaw. Now we're going to move on to the Union Army, which is ready to be deployed.
And just like that, the Union Army has now also been placed.
Now, I've decided to move General Burnface slightly further forward, and the reason being is he's now taking the flag and he's leading the charge from the very front. Now, you'll see over here that they had William T. Sherman and a line of Union Army soldiers all the way along from left to right, marching towards the enemy. However, the cannon has blown up the viewer, the viewer, this dude over here, this gentleman here, this fine gentleman, in the middle, and has scattered all of these Union Army soldiers. From panic, they've broken lines and they're now running out forward towards the Confederate position over here as they're beginning to open fire with the second round of cannon volley.
So as it turns out, I did do a bit more detailing on the build, and this will now be the finished MOC, and I'm glad that I did.
What I've done is I've added in a bunch of olive studs as well as dark brown studs as well as these studs with holes. We've also added a little bit of vegetation around the outside here,
and all of that just helps to bring the MOC to life a little bit and make it look a little bit less bland and one-toned that had dark greens earlier.
And who do you think's gonna win the battle? Will it be the Confederate Army or will it be the Union Army? Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the next one.